And welcome back to the channel at VAG Technic, Volkswagen Auto Group, if you don't know, but I'm really hoping you know. So, update with the RS4. It's not really good, to be honest. So, the quotation was given, and I know it's loads of money. It obviously needs 2 turbos, catalytic converters, the top of the cylinder head, 1 intake camshaft, 1 exhaust camshaft. The heads need doing, head gaskets, timing chains, camshaft adjuster. So material wise we almost get to over £12,000 easily. Of course the cooler was damaged, which probably caused most of the damage in the engine. But yeah, after many phone calls and many text messages, the owner was asking me, do it cheaper. And of course, you know, I can't go to TPS during night, like midnight, and just open, you know, the warehouse and take whatever we need. So unfortunately, everything what we have to get, we have to pay for, and the price is given. So this engine will probably end up in a scrap. The owner wants to sell it. We'll see. Not my problem. Meanwhile, I was away. Look, the white RS4 is gone. And the reason why it's gone, because Miroslav's working hard, he's not messing about like I am, traveling around here and there. So the white RS4 is done. We took it for a bit of a valet to make it clean, and everything was sorted. New rock arms were installed. We didn't touch the camshaft adjusters because obviously they were in good condition, so the chains are not replaced as well. However, 1 exhaust camshaft was replaced and the cooler was replaced, which becomes a common fault on this. So if you're owning an RS4 and you're wondering, should I get it done or should maybe no? You see what can happen, yeah, and this is what can actually happen. So the owner of the grey RS4 brought us an engine. Of course, it's a second-hand engine, and this engine will come with warranty of 0 days. It was fairly cheap for a full engine with turbos and with everything basically. So somebody was very smart and they didn't even cut off the loom, which actually requires disconnecting 3 connectors. Some of them don't really come with the loom. But this engine will be installed into the RS4, which is on the ramp. And this engine will be installed as it is. So it will still have the fantastic rock arms, but can fail anytime, any day. And, you know, customer's always right. So customer want to put the engine in, we will put the engine in. Of course, he was asking us to supply the catalytic converters, which were damaged. And after we purchased them online and we also purchased the cooler, he called us like, oh, I can get the catalytic converters and the cooler as well. So he supplied basically everything. So we will be charging him only labor and labor only. So next step will be this piece of scrap metal will be removed from the subframe and the gearbox, and the other piece of scrap metal, which is over there, will be installed into the 55 grand RS4. So this video will be about swapping engines. Very interesting. But let's get to it. I'm really hoping there will be no more issues, and if there will be issues, somebody gotta sort it out, but it won't be us. Righty then, so I did enjoy putting the engine back together, which will never ever run again without small investment. So I still have to put the intake manifold on there, so the owner asked us to put it back together, so it's like sellable unit, let's call it, as a spares or repairs probably. As I mentioned, we have catalytic converters from the owner used, cooler from the owner used as well. So I'm not sure for how long it will last in the vehicle, but that was the decision of the owner. So next step will be, I really like to put the engine crane over here, because I want to keep the subframe on this trolley, and we will basically take off the engine from the mount with the gearbox onto the other trolley, which is over there. So we will be swapping everything around. So loads of swapping, is going on, and I would really like to put the engine back into the car sooner better. We have to do the RS4 B7, which is waiting there. We have to do SQ5, which is outside. We have to do probably 2 or 3 RS4s B8 and a halves. So too much to do, but okay, let's concentrate on this one, and then we will another video sometimes do another cars again. Right, that wasn't easy. Was on my own here, obviously. This is quite a heavy bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not a bodybuilder, so I have to do it the smart way with too many trolleys and stuff. But I think we managed it quite all right. Nothing fell down, nothing is damaged. So that's cool. Next thing, remove the bolts from the plate to the torque converter. We will take the engine off finally, bring the other engine, somehow put them back together again, and just, you know, connect everything, and hopefully it will work all together. Gearbox, engine separated, brilliant. I did find out that this loom, which actually goes for the engine mount and for the secondary pump for the coolant, is a separate loom, so that will be replaced. However, we still have to get the starter motor from this side, which means I have to unscrew this mount, and I have to take the motor out somehow. So I have to get the nuts. So yeah, that's the, I think, last thing what needs swapping around. And then we're gonna put the other engine on the crane. We're gonna try to put it back with the gearbox. Have a look at this. So the RS5, which is the same engine, we had a problem in Slovakia with this washer underneath the bolt, so it was leaking from there. But in this situation, this gap there is to basically put something in between the block and the plate to separate it when you're doing a service on the chains. So don't worry about that. But look, it's leaking from the block and the lower block. So if you have a leak like this, unfortunately bad news. Also, I'm very curious, like, what's going on with this plug, this plastic plug. So there's a plastic plug with the O-ring. And the last engine what we were working on was a S4, S5, and when the cylinder heads went for skimming, we basically have to take it off. And we thought it's there because of an RS model, like an extra pipe is going there for a cooling or something, but obviously not. So from my point of view, they're putting some stuff there what might go really wrong, and to repair them, it's quite difficult to get to him. So well done, Audi, unless we got something to do. So yeah, starter motor is out. I will take this engine into the scrap over there, bring the other engine, and we will connect it with the gearbox. The engine and the gearbox say yes, so they become a lovely couple again. I'm really hoping there will be no divorces in really short time period, because otherwise it will get really expensive. So next step, you're gonna put these bolts for the plate and the torque converter back. I have to put the loom what you've seen. Somebody was removing the engine very professionally. I think this thread's gone, so we have to replace this carrier for the engine mount. Starter motor, of course, gotta go on. Yeah. Go back into the car and we will try to start it up. Okay, so progress. Next thing will be subframe, but we also have to replace this pipe from the turbo because the sticker is missing and the owner wants to have the sticker there. So unfortunately I have to take off the intake pipe from the turbo, the manifold, and then take off these two. So 3 of them gotta come off. Next one will be subframe and then the pipe.
Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe.
I replaced the pipe from the turbo to the exchanger, cooler, whatever you're gonna call it. And look at the excess, it's absolutely pain. So this side is even worse, even if you're gonna look, there's one second bolt somewhere over there. So yeah, next step will be put it back together, and we still have to replace the exchanger cooler in the corner of the bumper, but Mirko told me we have to drop the bumper down actually to replace it. And we still have some small bits and bobs like the arms, but you know, don't worry about it, arms are important. We gotta make the engine run, and then I'm really hoping it will leave the workshop.
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.
So here we are underneath the front headlight, the, I don't know, intercooler, exchanger, something like that. So basically it's water cooled. So these two pipes are water in, water out, electric water pump. This is the hose coming into the manifold and flap. We have to remove this hose, which is attached on the chassis over there. Unfortunately, this air conditioning pipe is in the way. So that will be loads of fun. And yeah, we have to sort of somehow remove the bolts from the back and replace it with brand new second hand. Yes. How long this will last, so let's hope for the best. Nobody knows. Second hand, no warranty. Owner, bring this wonderful, beautiful cooler. Okay, so engine is in. Took us probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes. The biggest pain was the air conditioning compressor, which is here. So we have to put the top bolt in first, then tilt it somehow, put it on the bottom, put the bolts in, release the tensioner for the belt, and so on and so on. The owner was here, he was just driving around and he thought he will stop by, asking us when it's gonna be done and why it's not done, and it only takes 6 hours to put the engine in. So I tried to convince him to come work for us. He declined the offer. So it's me and Miroslav have a day off, and yeah, we will finish it off today somehow. There's still plenty things what needs to be plugging in and look at, and I still have to put in the heat exchanger or the intercooler into the front end, put the bumper on and stuff. So I think we still have a couple of hours to do actually. Before we're gonna start the engine up, we have to put new oil filter and oil in the engine, I suppose. We will crank the engine without the coil packs to be plugged in to build up the oil pressure a bit, and hopefully it will fire up and let the car off the ramp. This is the cooler what you bring us. This is how the pipe looks like. This is how it should look like. So Yeah, I'm not sure if it won't be leaking. Let me know what you want to do. Okay, so this is the cooler, what was brought to us, second hand, brand new. Big tuning happened. Unfortunately, I removed the hose because we've got it on the pump over there. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's ain't gonna be leaking. Should looks like this. It looks like this, but it's coming on.
So before I'm gonna put new oil in, I was like, let's open the plug. This is what came out. So the engine was bought with oil. Such a bargain, but unfortunately it doesn't look too good.
Okay, so we plug everything in and I want to put some coolant in and look, broken. So I think this was stopping up coolant that often that even the coolant cap broke off from the tank. Do we have something very special to try to remove it? Full. Nope. Okay. Nieraz ta jedna wątka była taka, wiesz, taka...
No i to zwykłą tak na oczy.
No. Okay guys, so the RS4 is done and gone. As you've seen on the video, we did manage to start up the engine. However, it was running fine, but there was an issue. There was a fault code in the ECU with the NOx sensors, and they were coming on above 2,500–3,000 RPM. So as we mentioned to everyone, whoever come to us, and if you come to us, you can hopefully confirm it. If you're supplying a second-hand engine yourself, obviously we can't provide any kind of a warranty for whatever is supplied as a second-hand, especially from customers when we didn't even check it before, which was in this case. So I did contact the owner of the vehicle and I did inform him that obviously the engine is running. However, from our point of view, I don't recommend to drive it because NOx sensor is something quite sensitive as a protection of the engine in case of fueling or any kind of other issues. It will disable a cylinder and it will prevent from any kind of internal damage. The owner wasn't actually quite happy with the information, which I understand. Frustration is high. You have an RS4, it broke down, it's loads of money, and now you put even more money into a second-hand engine, the car's still not running. So obviously he did try to blame us first that, oh, you probably damaged the loom while you were installing it, and before I didn't have the fault code, and you know, story behind it's just too long. Obviously, we end up in a huge argument because I did explain a million times, like it's not a wiring because it's not coming as an open circuit or show to ground to a sensor. It was showing the knock is too high, and obviously the values were showing physically and realistically that the knock on the cylinders is just too high, and that's why the engine was like disabling the cylinders, which is not really a drivable condition. So we end up in a big argument, and then we actually find out that the car was remapped. It was remapped by someone who I never heard before, someone I don't know where. Obviously, the owner of the car had someone who was doing remaps with him, and I did tell them, like, look, the only option what you have at the moment is to come down, try to sort it out, because obviously I'm not touching something what somebody's done and it will be our fault. So he did try to convince me to keep driving the car on my responsibility and sort out the issue, because he is paying us to actually had the car in running condition, which is not true, because we only fit the engine and we had a non-runner coming to the workshop where you've seen. So we don't know the condition of the engine before, we don't know the condition of any components when the car came to us, what was the fault codes potentially, because you can't test anything. We only done a compression test which confirmed there's no compression, and obviously that's about it. So after a big argument over the phone, the owner did came down with his friend probably, and they did flash the issue to a completely stock map, and the problem was gone. So after all this stress and everything, he was sort of happy and not happy, because he still have to pay a big bill. So it worked out cheaper probably by £3,000–4,000 to supply an engine with a second-hand cooler, with second-hand catalytic converters and our labor, compared to a job when we will build an engine, give them a warranty and everything, and it will be a fresh build unit. So it was his decision, his money, you know, his part. So obviously we really want to get the car moving from the ramp, because every single day when the car is stuck on the ramp, we're just losing money because it's not doing anything. So from that point of view, the car was done. He did pay out the bill for the labor what he owns us. But again, it was an experience when we agreed with someone to, you know, bring his own stuff, and it's just backfired. It was a bit of a too much stress for myself. Obviously, I know loads of you are watching the videos, you think they're brilliant, which we are happy that you like the videos and you would like to come down, sort out issues, but obviously, please listen to us carefully when we are explaining to you the situations, like what's covered, what's not covered, what's the sort of some kind of a policies what we had here, and just try to respect it. And definitely next time, we just obviously don't really want to fit anything what we didn't saw before, but it's one of, like I said, we just want to have the car off the ramp ASAP and just continue our work. As you can see behind me, we have another RS4 B9, which is on 65,000 miles, which has a rock arm failure. That'll be probably a video, and unfortunately they just keep failing. 1 year ago, 2 years ago, when we done the first video, especially on the forums, there was quite loads of hate. Also, 034 didn't mention us directly. They just mentioned there is one particular place somewhere in the world saying that the rock arms are failing. Obviously they are failing, unfortunately. The design is, you see in the design, it is what it is. It can do damage, it can do less damage, it can do more damage. However, if you have the car tuned or not, it will not affect the rock arm life. You can extend the rock arm life by putting different grade of oil and try to do oil changes more often, but even then nobody will guarantee you how long they will last. We have very low mileage cars and sort of higher mileage cars here when they fail, so it's very individual, I would say. In the next video I will try to do a more detailed footage how the rock arm is failing, because from this B9 behind me we did actually cut it open and we see the rollers, how they're wearing out, and what will be the reason why they're actually failing out at the same time. So definitely more content coming in. Meanwhile, thank you for watching, guys. We will see you in the next video, and take care for now. See ya.